What would you consider to be the greatest moment of this past week? Take just a moment and share that with your group. We have discussed over the past few weeks 3 strategies for dealing with out-of-control brokenness, that chaos in our life as we experience life together. We've discussed first the importance of remembering that we live in the presence of God. I've encouraged you to find a place of quietness where you can be still and know that I am God. Secondly, we've discussed the important formula that we found in Romans 1 to keep us from being sucked into the trap of sin, to glorify God as God, and then to live a life of gratitude. And then in our last session, we discussed the importance of sharing our heart with God and sharing our heart with trusted friends. But tonight we're going to discuss a final strategy on my list. And I invite you to continue this discussion because you may have other strategies that you'd put on your list. Final one that I have on my list, though, is that you exaggerate your successes. What do you do well? Chances are you can do little to change the reality of the chaos that you're in. If a poor choice is contributing to your brokenness, then I encourage you, find ways to change your behavior. Find some help. But as you consider your own chaos, you may realize that your chaos is by no fault of your own. It's just simply a circumstance or a situation in life that you can't change. You've just found it to be a place of out-of-control chaos. It's your reality. Well, what would you consider to be the solution? We encourage you to focus in on that. What can you do well? In the midst of all this crisis, in the midst of your chaos, in the midst of even your own dysfunction, what would you say you do well? Well, do more of that. Do what you do best better. Do what you do best rapidly. When you identify that one thing that you can really do well, that one difference that you can make, that one place where you feel success and you know that you're successful, become passionate about that. Become full of enthusiasm about that, not focusing in on the failures and the things you can't change, but finding a place where you can petition God to help you to find real victories in the midst of that storm. It's so easy to repeat our mistakes. It's so easy to get caught up in our mistakes. It's so easy to be defeated by something that completely overwhelms us. The wrong thing is really easy to do. That's why so many people do the wrong thing. It's just easy. Doing the right thing, if doing the right thing were easy, then everyone would do the right thing. Sometimes doing the right thing is the most difficult thing. This is what Paul told the Colossian church. He said, whatever you do, work heartily, as for the Lord and not for men, knowing that from the Lord you'll receive the inheritance as your reward. You're serving Lord Christ. I think Paul's words, they speak such strength to us. That's what he said, whatever you do, work heartily at what you do. So I want you as a group to consider your chaos, consider your problem, your situation you're going through. What is one thing that you believe you're really doing well with right now? Where are you experiencing success? Talk about that. As a final exercise in this series, I want you to spend some time to affirm others. Because of this sense of humility that we have, we often undersell ourselves. And we have strengths and we have successes that other people can see more readily than we can see in ourselves. And so this is a time for you to tell other people in your group what you really appreciate about them and what you see them doing really well. It's a time to affirm, which is part of one of the purposes of our life groups together. You might begin the statement by pointing to someone in your group and say, "One thing that I really appreciate about you is," and then complete that sentence. I want you to make sure that everyone in your group feels affirmed by the end of this exercise. But after you have affirmed everyone in your group, then close out with a prayer of thanks for the gifts, for the people that are in your group, and for how God has blessed each one of us uniquely. Celebrate your successes. Exaggerate your successes.